Tom, I don't know if these people realize that, but you are in the presence of horticultural greatness in somebody who thinks he's a stand-up comedian. What was TC? Was that you?
Excuse me.
My mom, as she raised me up, she told me if you never have or learn any useful skills, try to be funny. So that's where that comes in.
And he's still trying.
That's right. I'm just saying, succulents enjoyed by millions of people nationwide, worldwide now, with your books. That really changed the world, Deborah. I could walk into a homeowner association. I could walk into a homeowner association with the most beautiful ruffled echeveria, and the homeowners association would say, "You can't bring that in here because we don't like jade plants." Because every succulent in the world was a jade plant. Yeah,
no, every
and
succulent
cactus
was
are even
cactus.
worse. Yeah,
Yeah.
So your books changed it, Deborah.
Well, thank you. And you know, because I'm primarily a journalist, and journalists have the power of words and photographs and media to spread the news. I've told the world about plants produced by great nurserymen and hybridizers like Kelly Griffin, who you'll be hearing from in a minute. I think there's a lot of credit that's due behind the scenes when it comes down to plant propagation and nursery work and recognizing species that will be strong and live and be durable in your gardens and look good over a long period of time. I was writing about homes, gardens, architecture, and interior design for different publications, and some of you are nodding. I can't believe you actually read my byline back in the 90s. Thank you if you did. And I was Sunset Magazine's main scout in the San Diego area. And I would go on all the garden tours and take scouting photos and send them off to Kathy Brenzel, my editor at Sunset Magazine. I got so I could recognize a garden or a vignette or a design that was innovative enough and important enough that it could make it into Sunset Magazine. And so I would send off all of these photos via email, and Kathy would decide which actually merited being in Sunset Magazine. Well, in the course of doing that, going on the garden tours, getting to know the landscape designers and the nurserymen and people who were on the cutting edge of design and gardening, I started showing Kathy more succulent gardens, because that's what the very high end was doing. And trends tend to start on the high end with the people who have money and land and can hire the talented designers and who want something different and innovative, and it trickles down. And so one day I was on the phone with my editor, and she said, "You know, Deborah," and this was in 2005. This is a conversation I'll never forget. Kathy Brenzel of Sunset Magazine said to me, "You have so many good photos of succulent gardens. You should do a book." And my reaction, although I didn't say it, was, why would I want to do that? Because I had the best job in the world. Hello. I mean, I was visiting the top gardens in all of San Diego County. I was getting these great assignments from Sunset Magazine. I could not have been happier with what I was doing. But then I realized, it didn't take me very long, probably the rest of the day and a long discussion with my beloved husband, that if Sunset Magazine tells you you should do a book, if you don't do it, someone else will. And hey, I liked succulents, you know. I grew up with them.
Deborah, I want to ask you, people want the dirt. And so I want to know, was there a first succulent in your life? What was that very first one? I mean, and once you discovered it, did you start going out?
I grew up with succulents. I grew up on an avocado ranch.
There were so many.
Tom, I'm going to ignore that. I know. Okay, let's see. What was? Okay, I had the same experience you all did. I ran afoul of a cactus at the age of 4 and ran howling to my mother. Okay, was that dirty enough?
That was pretty dirty.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we all get the point, Deborah.
I did a lot of profiles of notable horticulturists. I cannot tell you how many times they credited a grandparent for spurring their interest, to the point where I was like, oh, here we go again with a grandmother story. You know, come on, let me hear something original. But it's true. If a parent or a grandparent takes the time and trouble to introduce a child to gardening, but gardening through their eyes, through the child's eyes, through that relationship with dirt and bugs and flowers and petals. If I have a little girl visit my garden, we make a salad out of flower petals. If I have a little boy, like my own grandson who's now 9 years old, visit my garden, we hunt spiders. I am the grandma, hello, and grandparents tell me it isn't a competitive sport, right? So I am the grandma who knows where the black widows are. I am the grandma who knows how to get a trapdoor spider to come out of its cone-shaped web. Now, an orb weaver web is shaped like an orb. You've all seen them, you've all walked into them, you've all come face to face with an upset spider. But did you know that they hang out at the top of their webs waiting for something to come along and get caught in their net? And then they come down the web and they wrap that up like a burrito. And, well, you can imagine what happens next. So if you can throw something in the web, and even if that fly is dead, you've got the spider's interest. And then you can take a fingernail and just wiggle a little body part of that dead insect, and the spider's like, well, and he comes down, and you can watch the rest of the gory process. And best of all, you can brag about your grandma. I'm very good at catching gophers. And my grandson...
Gophers be scared, I'm just telling you.
I know. And my grandson is fascinated at the whole idea that his mom and dad brought him over one day in spring when he was about 7. And I said, you want to go check the gopher traps? And of course he did. And so we went down in the garden, and I let him do the excavation and the midwifing. And he actually, I was the hunter, of course, but he actually could hold up a trap with a gopher in it. And I know, and I mean the moment, let me tell you, the moment was so special. And then my daughter-in-law said, be sure you wash your hands.
And I love, talk about your books. So I've seen all of your books. How many are there, 400 now?
Well, in print probably.
Yeah, right.
Well, the one that is my magnum opus, Tom's checking his watch because he knows I can talk about
You're doing fine.
I can talk about my books forever. But this is the second edition of the book that, modesty aside, launched worldwide interest in succulents 10 years ago. And this has recently been updated, Designing with Succulents. The first edition came out in 2007, and this reflects 10 years of changes in the world of primarily landscaping with succulents.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I've seen a lot of succulent books in my day. Started reading them when I was like 12 years old, okay? Cactus and succulent books. I saw Debra's first books when they came out. I go, photography, really pretty, this and that, pretty good. This last book, Get Down, Elizabeth. This is the best, one of the absolute best succulent books, and the best one she's ever put out. I was blown away when I went through this over and over. So the second edition, holy smokes. Way to go, beautiful go.
Well, you know, once again, hey Tom, you know, consider the source. That is a huge compliment, and I hope we have got this on tape.
Well, Debra, you are always a delight to us. I hope we get to share a lot more times together. And thank you for being an inspiration to really, like I said, the whole world. Succulents now are a household word because of you, and thank you so, so much. Everybody, big hand for